On with me today, my friend John Bowley from Building Specs Pros. He's the guy that you want to have come out to that home that you want to buy to fully inspect it. If you've been following his podcast, you'll find that he starts from the roof and works his way down. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about electrical. Hey, John, how you doing?
Hey, Joe. I'm looking forward to today's podcast.
Yeah, so, I know that you like to start at the roof first and then work your way down. And sometimes on the roof, there may be things that have to do with the electrical system. What might you find on the roof?
Well, we'll find transition points. They're called gutter boxes, and gutter boxes are where they have transitions for electrical and conduit to go across from one point to another.
Yeah. And so a lot of people don't have things on the roof, but every once in a while, you need to determine what's up there. And you've told me before, you can find some crazy things because like rodents will find their way in and they can pretty much fry themselves in there.
Absolutely. I was in a property the other day, older home, had a gutter transition on a flat roof. The the junction box was missing. He was chewing on the wires, and that ended his day. So nice big rat. And then you have to take pictures of that and show the homeowner and show the property owner that's buying a multi-unit building. Hey, wires are burnt here. Here's a dead rodent as proof. And you just never know what you're going to run into.
And it's very dangerous when an animal chews through wires. It can cause a fire. Not only is it going to kill the animal, most likely, but
Right.
even worse for us as the homeowner, it could potentially cause a fire and burn the house down.
Absolutely. And the older homes that I go into, they'll go with the cheapest guy, and they'll go with a guy that'll give a bid, and he'll give a little scope of work. And the homeowner goes, "Great, you're the cheapest guy I found." And then you go in and you look at the main electrical panel, and it's a panel replacement. The home was, say, built in the 50s, and it has what we call a Zenco panel. And Zenco is an electrical panel that's recalled, no longer a product that should be used or made, but they have counterfeit circuit breakers out there, just like other things in life. And when you go in, the bus bar in the back of the panel is discolored. And that discoloring and arc looking metal is the first sign. And then the circuit breakers on the back of them will have little small cracks. And those cracks are from the circuit breaker tripping on and off or not tripping. So it's being forced to do something that it can't do. And that's the same way with a pushmatic electrical panel. There are little buttons that you push in and out. They're fire hazards. And the same with what we call an FPC, and that's a federal stab lock panel. And all these panels you can look up online as an owner when an inspector identifies these. It's on Google, it's everywhere, and they'll tell you safety, safety, fire, fire. And look at when in the inspection report, look at the circuit breakers and what the inspector talks about. If the circuit breaker has arc marks on the screw heads or rust and oxidation, big red flag. That panel is prone to failure. If you're near the ocean, condensation, salt deposit, you have to pay attention. And lastly, knob and tube wiring under or inside the attic space or in a wall or in a crawl space. Those spools burn. That wire is brittle. The knob and tube wiring can fail and it can catch on fire. I had an apartment building I inspected 2 years ago in San Diego. It was on the news. I told them it was Zenco panels. They overloaded the system because the system wasn't meant, it's 70 amps. It's not meant to have the modern appliances connected. So the person in the apartment overloaded it with a bunch of extension cords, an air conditioner, microwave, dishwasher. They did all these remodels, but they didn't update the electrical correctly. And what happened? 4 of the buildings burnt down.
Oh,
So I get the call from the fire marshal. So there's my
yep.
case.
Yep. And we could talk forever about electrical. For more information, check out the description of this podcast to get a hold of John Bowley, and he will come out and he will take a look at your new purchase and let you know the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right, buddy?
Yes, sir. I will.
All right. Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe.